All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Pigskin Podcast, episode 4. I think this is episode 4. This is just a quick review of College Football Week 7, NFL Week 6. Again, in case you forgot, my name is Dalton. This is my partner in crime, Sebastian. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. First of all, we're going to talk about winners on this fucking podcast. So we're going to start it off with Washington and Oregon. Man, give me your thoughts.
So the Ducks, they go into Washington and they lose a thriller. That was
Yeah.
another great game. 2 weeks in a row, big matchup. So we had OU Texas, spectacular game, goal line stand. Then we get Washington versus Oregon, another spectacular game, another goal line stand. If you missed it, Oregon did have one. That was pretty cool. Here's my thoughts. I watched one Washington game. That was the first game of the season against Boise State. I was like, damn, they look good. I didn't watch another one, and you had been saying that they were good. They are good. They're good. DeBoer's got his team looking pretty good right now.
He
Uh,
does.
there's kind of the difference between that game and the OU Texas game that we watched the week before. OU physically outmatched Texas, even though like on paper Texas had like the better team. OU was just a lot more physical. They had a lot more heart. They cared more. They're more bought into the program. In the Big 12 matchup, if they play again, I don't know if Texas gets their shot at winning another game. Like if I had to guess, I'd say that Oklahoma takes it a second time. I can't say the same thing for Washington because they both looked really good. I mean, yeah, you can say that there was questionable calls, questionable play calling. We'll get into that after we talk about Washington. But Michael Penix, he's the man. He throws a pretty football.
He does, man. It's weird because like DG too, right? It's very similar look and throw. Now Dylan puts a lot more from his body when he releases that ball, but no, Michael Penix has got a good. He's the Penix
He
has got a good
has,
ball,
he
man.
has a fuckable spiral,
Oh yeah, 100%. I'd I'd tongue punch that spiral, bro. I
yeah,
swear to God, I would.
like box man. Just very beautiful. I mean, Jeff is it Johnson, their running back? He played
Yes,
well. Rome Odunze, he's that dude. Polk's that dude. I think McMillan was hurt. Their defense looked good. I mean, you knew it was going to be a high-scoring game. We took the over, 67 points, easy bet. Um,
I won't talk about it. I mistakenly took the under.
it happens, man. You got to be more careful when you're betting.
Can't believe myself, man. I'm so
You
mad.
can't get drunk that early. I would
Dude, I know.
taste myself.
I didn't. I didn't. As soon as I open the fridge, it's 4 Coronas in one grab, man, and I don't go back until I need another 4. But no, I mean You're exactly right. The differences between the game from last week, the OU Texas game, and then this past game, is both teams. Now OU and Texas, both teams looked very even, right? Like it looked like they're very equal teams. Now obviously OU brought the fight to Texas through most of it, but the difference in this is Oregon and Washington were even. Like that's the thing. Like they were
Yeah.
complete straight across the board. I don't even think the better team won. I just think one team happened to win. And so, I mean, I don't know about you. I know the Pac-12 is crazy this year. This is probably the Pac-12 championship game rematch if I had to put money on it now. But no, Michael Penix looked great. Like I said, Odunze, Johnson, Polk, all those boys were killing it. The only thing I'd have to say, and now I'm not one to question play calling outside of the moment. In the moment, I might be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But in the moment or outside of the moment, those guys get paid millions of dollars to make those choices. I don't. You know what I mean? So, um, but I will say Washington's defense really surprised me. Not that they were great, but I thought they were opportunistic and they forced stops when they needed to, i.e. the goal line, the plays in the goal line, forcing Oregon to kick field goals, stopping the 2 point conversions, like all that stuff. I mean, stopping the fourth downs. Oregon had what, one fourth down conversion, two fourth down conversions all game, missed double what they got. So, no, I thought Washington looked really well, cemented themselves as a top 3 team in the country in my book. I don't know if they came top 3 in the polls. I think they were sort of around that. I think they jumped OU, right? Because OU fell to 6. Not that the AP poll matters, but no, I just thought it was a great game from Michael Penix. Like I said, the defense stepped up when they needed to, and they're legit, bro. Like they're legit.
That atmosphere looked crazy.
Oh yeah, I can understand why the Seattle Seahawks get such a good rap for the 12th man, because it seems like the entirety of whoever shows up to Lumen Field for Seahawks games was at Washington University for that football game. It was crazy.
Yeah, our best friend Colin Coward was there.
It's not funny. I fucking hate you. No, our best friend Josh Pate was there. Okay, Pate State. That man was there.
Was that his like ramen noodle game or whatever?
No, that wasn't on the Ramen Noodle Express. He didn't bet it, man. It's too much of a toss up. That was his every given Saturday tour. That was his thing. Can't wait till we get paid to go to college football games, man. Should be lovely.
Yeah, honestly.
Will it be in Norman every weekend?
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. But yeah, no, it was a really fun game to watch. I thought both teams played well.
Yeah.
It's not perfect football. Like, you can't get mad at coaches or at players when they don't play absolutely perfect. You're gonna get sloppy. Like, it happens. It just that's
I mean, thing. If it happens in the NFL,
that's what
and those guys are veterans and these guys are in their 20s, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we love about it.
He had a disaster in 2018. He had to put his backup quarterback in. Left tackle gets hurt. A player collapses on the sideline. Coaches yelling at each other. Beats Georgia. I mean, it's not pretty, but that's what makes football a beautiful sport to watch.
Exactly.
Because you get to scream and yell at the TV, but at the same time watch the excitement of just something miraculous happening. But let me ask you this. Michael Penix, game-winning touchdown. Was that better than Dylan Gabriel's game-winning touchdown? Do you think Michael Penix is still above Dylan Gabriel in the Heisman voting?
So here's where I'll put it. I think they're neck and neck right now, but I think people would lean Washington because I think they've had a little bit more like notoriety. Now, I think the Texas win is better than the win against Oregon. I think OU beating Texas on a neutral field is better than Washington beating Oregon at home.
Yeah.
But I do also think both Oregon and Washington currently are better than OU. So,
I mean, you could say, and until they play, or like until we wouldn't really know unless they
right, play. Exactly, and that's the best thing about college football is you'll never know unless they play, and so or the best thing really about football. But no, I think right now, if I had a Heisman vote and I took all bias, obviously, I mean, if I took all bias out of it, I'd probably give it to Michael Penix.
Yeah.
But it would be very, very close between the two of them in my book. I mean, I think they've both separated themselves, especially with the disaster Caleb Williams had in South Bend. I think it's Michael, Dylan, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams. You know what I mean?
Well, Brock Bowers is out now. He's probably going to miss. He might miss the entire season. I mean, if they're smart.
I think they said 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe he comes back for a playoff run, but at that point, I don't. Just depends on. I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't come back if I wasn't 100%.
So here's why I'm at with it. We got Dylan Gabriel, and then Michael Penix. The reason it's not the OU bias. It's just that a minute 17, no timeouts. It's like half a. I mean, it's a road game. You have to travel 2.5 hours from Norman to Dallas. You know, half the stadium's Texas, half the stadium's OU, and you have plays all over. I mean, you throw a middle to Drake Stoops between two linebackers, and you throw it across the field to Jalil Farouk. Then you escape what would have been a sack, run, throw a bomb to Stoops. And then to kill time, you run that first down play just to kill some time. And then when you're about to get sacked, you throw it to Nick Anderson for a touchdown. That's more impressive to me than the two plays Michael Penix made. Now, Michael Penix, that was awesome because he threw it up to give Odunze a chance. That's just kind of where I'm at. Dylan Gabriel, Michael Penix, like right there. And then I've got Jalen Daniels, like right here.
Jalen Daniels, really? Really?
Yeah, maybe that's the The bye.
Now, I will say, if you think about it from a different standpoint, if you look at the Heisman as an MVP vote, I think Dylan would get it there. Now, I think I think you're right. You would just, well, yeah, but I think you're right in the fact that Dylan's had the better Heisman moment, but B, I think it's very obvious. Now we haven't seen Washington without Michael Penix, right? But I think it's very obvious. Dylan Gabriel means much more to OU than Michael Penix does to Washington at the moment.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that.
Think about it from the standpoint that Michael Penix has 3 likely first-round receivers he's throwing the ball to, and Dylan doesn't have one. Not that Jalil Farouk's not amazing, or Andrew Anthony can't be, or Nick Anderson won't be, or Jaden Gibson can't be, but I just think currently Michael Penix has the better weapons. So
I agree with you on that. Moving on to Oregon. So Dan Lanning, I mean, he had his press conference afterwards, and he said, "Listen, I'm fully blameable. Like, you should blame me for that. It was my play. I went for it. Probably should have taken the points. I went aggressive, and I lost us the game." So when the college football, the debacle happened, when Lincoln Riley went to USC and Mario Cristobal went to Miami, 2 good spots, like, for coaching. Like, those are 2 very good, like, jobs as a football head coach. For Oklahoma, the main priority was Brent Venables. That was the main priority. That's who you wanted. But for whatever reason, Brent Venables decided to decline the job. Dan Lanning was second. 100%, right? Like, that was.
I mean, you'd have to think so, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted Dan Lanning if Brent didn't take the job.
What about Brian Kelly?
Fuck you. Shut up.
Steve Sarkisian?
No.
Josh Heupel? Josh Heupel's who I wanted if we didn't get Brent.
Yeah, Josh Heupel, just because.
But Dan Lanning, I understand the Dan Lanning hire, though.
Well, it was like you wanted defense back, and he's a good defensive stuff. But listen, I'm gonna defend Dan Lanning because, one, I took the over 67 points. If it hadn't been for him being aggressive and going for it on a 4th down and missing, Michael Penix doesn't get to throw that touchdown, and the over doesn't hit. And then Oregon misses the field goal. I picked Oregon plus 3.5, so that hit. So thank you, Dan Lanning. That helped me. There's a reason I defend this guy. Great recruiter, great football coach, and he helps me win my bets. But aside the jokes, like, he's still a great football coach.
No, I certainly agree. I think Dan Lanning's a top. Well, you kind of have to say up and coming in the fact that this is his first real shot, right? Which is insane to think about. Like, think about 5, 10, 15 years ago. You got your first shot at like Indiana.
Yeah.
Or like if you got a Big Ten or a Power 5 shot, it was like Vanderbilt, Indiana. Like, but now, like, Brent Venables' first head coaching shot, Oklahoma. Mario Cristobal, or not Mario, Dan Lanning's first head coaching shot, fucking Oregon. Lincoln Riley's first head coaching shot, Oklahoma. Like, not even as interims either. Like, to come in and just lead the program from jump. It's insane. But no, I fully support Dan Lanning. Now, the only one I kind of had questions about really is taking the points before halftime. Because I believe Washington got the ball first coming out of half. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you want to take some momentum into the break, and having a bad 4th down call, not taking points before halftime, kind of puts you in a bad spot. It almost like backs you up a couple steps, right?
It was a pretty bad call. Like,
it was. I don't think their situational play calling was too great. In those moments, I feel like their play calls were kind of weak because they tried a lot of like boot, jet out type stuff just to kind of create something to get open instead of running like almost like a stick concept or like a rub or a pick or something to spring someone open. They try to just move the offense in a direction. And when you're already in a condensed spot on the field and then you make your windows tighter, it's just not good. Smart play calling from my point. Like, so if anything, at that point, if they're going to run plays like that, you almost want them to lose 5-10 yards and have a bit more space to work with,
Exactly.
But I think Oregon now, yes, they scored, what was it? Was it 36, 33? Is that
30.
what it was? Yes, Oregon's defense gave up 36 points, but like they're still a top 5 defense in the country. And if you're playing a great offense like Michael Penix in Washington, you're going to give up points.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're Notre Dame against USC, but you just take the ball away 15 times. But you know, when you're playing a true like equal team and it's just such a just great offense, you're going to give up points. So I saw some people. It's probably a vast minority, but I saw some people like, oh, where's this great Oregon defense? It's like, no, they showed up, bro. Like
Yeah.
the fourth down stop,
Interception.
the interceptions, like they played well. They played opportunistic. They were physical as hell, and they beat up on Washington. But when you're playing a champion like what Washington could be, they're just going to keep getting back up and punching you in the mouth.
Yeah.
And it's just about who makes the final blow. And you can argue Oregon hits that field goal or Oregon kicks the field goal before half or they tie that game up. That game still might be going. They're so equal. You know what I mean? Like they'd be on like one of their 50th overtime right now. Like it's just it was such a perfectly even football game, in my opinion. And it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was going up and down, like just going crazy. Like it was a fun game. It's exciting when OU has a bye because you get to watch like the great games. I'm so glad that they did that matchup right after.
Dude, I know.
Like,
you know what sucks about this week?
What?
OU and UCF is at 11. By the way, I fucking work. OU at UCF is at 11 a.m. Penn State, Ohio State's 11 a.m.
Oof, that's gonna suck, man.
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you gonna watch?
I don't know because I record them both, so I can go back and watch them later. Because Penn State's my other team, so I might just record Penn State, Ohio State, watch the OU game, and then when I get home, just put one up on the laptop and the other one on TV and just finish them out. So you'll never know.
Yeah. Well, then that kind of kills the excitement whenever you go to check ESPN for the final score.
Oh, I ignore it, bro. I turn off Twitter notifications. I turn off ESPN. I just ignore all social media on game days when I have games to watch and I'm behind on. So
Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm gonna probably watch the Penn State Ohio State game over the Oklahoma game. They should. I mean, UCF is gonna give Oklahoma their best shot. I think every game going forward is gonna give them their best shot. Bedlam looks like it could be a tough game now. And shit, their running back is good.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. But this is what I hate, man. This is what I hate about Oklahoma State. Oh my God, it pisses me off every year. You're like, oh, okay, finally. They're dead in the water. They're not gonna make another bowl game. Gundy's streak's gonna end. Gundy's gonna have a shitty on like finally, bro. We don't have to worry about Bedlam. And they just start fucking fighting back. And I mean, obviously it's Bedlam. They're gonna give you their best shot, but when they're hot and they're on a roll, and then they roll into Bedlam, and it's the last one, and it's in Stillwater, dude. I'm so fucking nervous for that game.
It's gonna be a tough watch. Well, not tough. It's gonna be fun to watch, but it's gonna be a lot of like,
very stressful. Very stressful.
Yeah, that was a fantastic game, Oregon and Washington. I had a lot of fun watching that game. I thought both played well. Bucky Irving, great running back. Their backup running back's good. I feel like everybody played well. Troy Franklin's a freak.
That was the best thing about the game is it seemed like all players for both teams stepped up. That's what big time players do in big time moments is they step up, and that's exactly what we got.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to your favorite game of the week?
I've been so ready to talk about this.
We would talk about LSU and Auburn, but we kind of knew it was going to happen. It's in Baton Rouge. Barstool was there. Drewski was there. If they would have lost that game, or if it would have been close, if I'm LSU, I'm firing Brian Kelly on the spot. If it was like 20-13,
I still might fire Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
But let's do what we, as petty ass Oklahoma fans, have been waiting to do. Keep in mind, guys, it's Monday, about 10 o'clock at night right now. I haven't stopped thinking about this game since it started. USC goes into South Bend, Indiana. Caleb Williams has his first career 3-interception game. Notre Dame's opened up a can of whoop ass on USC, man. It felt so good.
I think we should talk about them first because that was impressive.
No, we definitely have to. We definitely have to talk about Notre Dame first. I mean, their defense. Now, it's you kind of weren't sure what you're going to get. At least me. I kind of wasn't sure what I was going to get out of Notre Dame this weekend. Now, yes, I did pick them to win. I did think they would win this game. But I thought simply off the fact that I think they're better than USC. But, you see them play 3 back-to-back-to-back. Shit. 2 on the road, I believe. Just very, very tough games. Obviously, the way they lost to Ohio State, the close game against Duke that came down to the wire, and then just getting run out of the building by Louisville. And then they had like the touchdown there at the end to make it look a little bit prettier than it really was. I just kind of felt in my soul, I was like, I don't know what I'm getting at Notre Dame. You kind of knew from jump, though. It seems like they knew their back was against the wall and they had to win this fucking game. And they just came out firing on all, bro. They were a Bugatti firing on all 16 cylinders, dog. They just came out and fucking roused them and took the punishment to USC. And it was amazing, man. What did you think?
Sam Hartman just gets prettier and prettier. Like his
every fucking game.
Like, he looks like
it's so hot. I've been watching him since he was in high school too.
Really?
Yeah. So did you ever see that QB1 thing they used to do?
Yeah, I know. I watched Spencer Rattler on that.
Yeah, he was on it the same season as Spencer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing
him and Bo Nix, and it was Spencer, Bo Nix, him, and I forget who else. But they were like
Tate Martell?
No, Tate Martell was before.
The year before.
But yeah, there was another quarterback, and I can't think of who it was. But
I feel like it was an Alabama guy.
No, it wasn't Bryce Young. Bryce Young was after.
Oh, that's right, because that's the one they ended up canceling, and then I think they're re-releasing it sometime soon, aren't they?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So, yeah, Notre Dame, they were a wagon. I'm going to send you a picture. And I want you to show everybody what I just sent you. And I want you to, that explains.
Well, let me turn my brightness down a little bit.
Yeah, your camera light's kind of,
you can see him pretty well.
Do you know who
that man is?
Go ahead.
Schmitty. That's Schmitty. Right there.
Distinguished Jerry Schmidt. Looks handsome, by the way, in that photo.
Very.
Very handsome.
I'd kiss him.
He definitely looks like a guy that you don't want to go to like boot camp with, or like let him, just physically outwear you. We talked about it. You and I talked about it a lot. The most important hire to bring back to Oklahoma was Jerry Schmidt.
Yes.
Of everybody, Venables and Jerry Schmidt were the two. Look at the direction that OU is going. Now look at the direction that USC is going with Benny Wiley. Benny Wiley's probably a good guy. He probably is a good guy. I've never met him or talked to him, but like you hear people at Oklahoma say that, yeah, he was a nice family man. That team, they could not. I mean, Notre Dame had 25 pressures on Caleb Williams.
Dude, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Benny Wiley that's always stood out to me, and even from the clips that OU used to post, you know what he seems like? He seems like a fucking CrossFit trainer.
Oh yeah.
To me, it just seems like the shit they do. It's like CrossFit. It's agility. It's looking pretty for the camera. It's not the hard physical fucking work that goes into being a football player.
Well, that's the thing. Football is a very mentally and physically draining sport, especially when you have to play for 3 hours, especially when it comes down to the wire.
Yeah.
In the Texas game for OU, I mean, those players were exhausted, but they mentally just got through it and got the stops that they needed. It's just Lincoln's going to have to, if he wants to solidify himself as a good coach, he's going to have to just stop being proud, and he's going to have to make changes. Now, I think Brian Odom is a great coach. I think Brian Odom's a really good coach. Of all the hires that all the coaches that he took with him, I like Brian Odom. I thought he was a very good coach. But I don't know, man. Benny Wiley, he can't get it done. I did read an interesting article, and this was from Trojan Wire. Let me see. So it was the Trojans Wire report card. This was October 15th when this was written. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So it reads, "We never thought we would do this. We never thought this could possibly happen. We never thought we would be in this position, yet here we are. We are in a spot where we have to give Caleb Williams the worst possible grade in our USC report card. Caleb Williams, the 2022 Heisman Trophy winner who came back this season with big expectations and dreams. Under head coach Lincoln Riley, started this season brilliantly. He was awesome in the first three quarters against Colorado as well. However, the last quarter was almost a disaster. This is a very weird USC report card, folks. The defense was almost entirely irrelevant to the outcome of this game, a plot twist no one expected. Here are our grades. We will focus on the offense and the players who all failed to do their jobs at the great cost to the Trojans." All right. So they gave Caleb Williams an F. Do you agree?
Statistically, yes. But if you watch the game from it, you know what it looked like? It looked like Jordan Love against Detroit and Oakland. Not Oakland, Las Vegas. He had no time, man. He was having to create everything off the top of it. Like he was playing playground football. The entire game. The entire game. They have no strength, man. And that's the thing. I'm glad you brought up the whole Benny Wiley thing because I've been thinking about that for a while.
Well, here's the other grades before we go into that, because I know
Okay.
you have a lot to talk about with that. They gave Lincoln Riley an F. They said Lincoln Riley's coaching performance this season has been horrible. Who cares about beating Stanford and Nevada convincingly? Players aren't being developed. Players aren't getting better. Players aren't getting tougher or stronger. Players aren't getting open. Linemen aren't evolving. The team and the program have regressed relative to 2022. Not remotely acceptable on any level. We hope changes will occur against Utah, blah, blah, blah. They gave him an F. Do you agree?
Yeah. Maybe not an F, because I mean they're still 5-1, But my biggest thing with that is, and you've started to see people say it, this USC team is literally like 2021 Oklahoma.
Yeah,
like
the
2019. Yeah. Yeah, bro. And it's insane the similarities because it's like you think he'd learn from this, right? But no, and so remember last year when OU was obviously stumbling and things just felt like it kept getting worse. You remember a lot of the talk was they're just like physically exhausted and they're tired and they're having a rough time developing or changing to the new culture. And you know what I think that is? I think that speaks to how bad Lincoln Riley's culture was in regards to the physicality and the work that it takes and the like it being on you to come in there and do that and the standard that you have to set. It was super, super lax, almost like an NFL program. Like just figure it the fuck out, do it yourself. And then Brent Venables comes in there and it's almost military style and it's, everything's on point, everything's with a purpose. You do this, we're a team, you're physical as fuck. Like everything starts from what you do in winter, postseason.
Coach too. Like players love him.
Yes, exactly. And you see the transition from the laid back kind of way they were working things with Benny Wiley and Lincoln Riley. And then you see what that does in that change of culture over last year. He was so bad. And I kind of kept thinking about it. I was like, these dudes look tired. Like, I was pissed, yes, that OU was losing. I mean, it's the first time, only time in my life that OU's ever had a losing season, right? And it sucked to watch, but I understood the work that had to be done to get them from trending down for 3 years to get them to where after a year and a half, they look like a top 5 program, not team, program. And those are two very different things. Teams and programs are very different things. Lincoln Riley's had always really good teams. He's never had a good program. And I think, here's the thing, I think OU foundationally, because of what Bob did, is so much better and will succeed even going into the SEC and everything getting harder. I think they will have much more success than USC going into the Big Ten, because you see all the struggles USC had. They were huge in the 2000s. They had some okay years in the 2010s, but they didn't have a solid foundation. Because you go to LA, you come to Oklahoma, it's football, it ain't shit else. You go to LA, football, movies, baseball, basketball, soccer, fucking hockey, fucking anything. You could do anything there, bro. You could do anything in Los Angeles. People aren't dedicated. That's why you see their stadium being so empty sometimes. People aren't dedicated to USC. They have 7 professional organizations in that city they can go watch instead of watching college athletics. People aren't dedicated to USC. Norman, Oklahoma City, fucking Lawton, like all these little towns around here. Not that Oklahoma City is little, but they thrive off of what OU does. The people in the state thrive off the University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Not so much Tulsa, but like it's the lifeblood of this state is athletics in these two programs, and that I think is the main difference.
If you're playing well, you can tell the fans will heavily reward. You'll buy merch. They'll attend games.
Bro, you know how much money I spent on fucking T-shirts after we beat fucking Texas? I bought my brother one. I bought myself one. I got a Stuntsman shirt. You know how many times I shared that and sent that to people? I probably paid for like a 10th of Danny's fucking tuition since that goddamn game ended.
You're welcome, Danny. Come on the podcast and chat with us.
Come on the podcast, Danny, please.
You know what you're gonna say?
I already spent one podcast talking about how big Conor McGregor's fucking cock is. I'm not going to do this with Danny Stuntsman. So
you're saying he doesn't have a big cock?
He probably does. Dime Dick Danny, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. So there was another grade that was given an F.
Yeah.
Benny Wiley. It says USC's strength coach isn't making players strong and tough. Lincoln Riley faces real questions about his muscle man. Oklahoma fans told us Wiley was going to be a problem. So far, they have been right. Do you agree with the F grade?
No, I think it's too high.
Yeah. So
it gets the fucking Z.
Which sucks, because he might be a cool guy, but
He seems like a great dude. He seems like a good TV. Like he's a good TV strength coach. He looks good on camera. He talks really well. They do cool things for their videos and all that shit.
But Big Dog.
Bro, Schmitty don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
You could shoot him in both his knees. He'd be like, I can still bench. I'm like, okay, cool. Come on.
Here, Horse, like, whenever they hired him back, so, like, when Brent was hired and Schmitty was like, okay, I'll come back after being paid to be the highest strength and conditioning coach at Texas A&M. I'll come back if I could do things my way. And Brent said, I wouldn't want it any other way.
Hey, by the way, look at kind of the lack of physicality Texas A&M's had since he left.
Yeah, and they've got their program. Got great guys in the trenches too.
Yeah,
they got high recruits in the trenches that would be really good. And that's a lot of the knock on Jimbo Fisher's, like they're not producing or they're not getting better. But it's like it's tough to find the right strength and conditioning coach, the right coordinators.
Oregon's got one.
Yeah.
Oregon's got a fucking man as a strength and conditioning coach. But I think, like we said it a few minutes ago, and Alabama does too. My dad actually knows him. My dad went to school with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we talked about it a little bit. Obviously, me and you have talked about it at length. We talked about it just a few minutes ago on the podcast. I think outside of a head coach and like kind of like a recruiting player personnel kind of guy, like what Cale Gundy should have been, if all that shit didn't happen, I think your strength and conditioning coach when it comes to college football is the most important hire on your team.
I do too.
He sets the tone for your program. And even if it's like he's a great strength and conditioning coach, but also you see those strength and conditioning coaches, bro, they're like the soul of your program because that's who everyone spends the most amount of time with. Yes, they spend time with their, like position coaches and their coordinators and in meetings and all that stuff. But in winter, in spring, in summer, in fall in the season, you know who's whipping your ass in the fucking weight room? Strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
You know who's in the training room with you while you're getting taped up and talking to you about what you can do better and what you need to do, and your plan and is setting plans for you to get stronger and to make certain weights and how to nutrition right and all this stuff? Your strength and conditioning coach. Who's running fucking sprints with you or stadiums, and who's whooping your fucking ass but doing the exact same fucking work you're doing? Your strength and conditioning coach. The tightest bonds are with that fucking coach. And if you have a great like strength and conditioning coach that can set a great program for you and set the standard, and then B, you have someone that really is good with your players, you can be unstoppable, man.
Yeah, if you don't have a horror story with your strength and conditioning coach, he's not doing it.
That's the thing you heard from every OU alum, right? All the guys that played there, like Gerald McCoy, DeMarco Murray, like all the guys that played while he
Baker.
was a strength and coach. Yes, bro, they were like, oh, them boys are fucking in for it now. Like
Yeah.
they thought shit was bad. Like wait till day one. Wait till he gets there. And everyone was like, oh yeah, they're just talking just to talk. No, bro. I can only imagine being in those workouts. I can only imagine.
But culture in the program, you're going to go through with. I mean, you're like, there's a reason, there's a purpose for it.
Well, that's where your buy-in starts, though. Your buy-in don't start when you're 6-0. Your buy-in starts February 15th.
Yeah.
After bowl season's up and you've had a few weeks off, and you're like, all right, cool. Let's get back to fucking work. Coach, season don't start for 6 months. I don't give a fuck. Lift that. Pick that shit up. Sprint. Like, that's where the buy-in starts.
Yeah, the only
That's
time
the biggest difference.
by a week.
Yeah. Well, not even then, bro.
Yeah.
Not with this program.
Yeah. I mean, you could just tell the direction that the teams are going in. And it sucks for Caleb Williams. Like, I felt really bad for him. It was like, he's spectacular to watch when he's playing good, when he has to make those Superman plays.
Mm-hmm.
The game was just too much. And Lincoln Riley's, he's got a lot to think about, like, for the future of the program. You got paid, you have a contract, you got millions of dollars. He could just be like, well, I'm going to keep these guys. Screw it. But maybe it's more transactional for him. Maybe he's just there for ball. And if that's the case, hey, that he might have already made his point across. Like, hey, I'm just here to get guys in the NFL, sell my scheme, and then eventually go coach in the NFL.
He's been talking about it.
Yeah.
He's been talking about lately is how much better the NFL coach schedule is and how much easier his life is and how much less stressful it'd be and all that shit. But, and here's the thing to me. And I know you got to pick and choose who you hire as your coach. And I know there's a lot of things that go into it. But, dude, as much as it hurts me to say, yes, he needs a new strength and conditioning coach. But I think if he can find himself a pretty good strength and conditioning coach and then go get himself someone like Jim Leonard and, like, they fix, bro. Because here's the thing with Lincoln Riley coach teams, their defense don't have to be spectacular. I mean, obviously, it'd be great if they were. But if they're, like, top 25%, top 30, top 50, like, they're terrifying. If they can hold teams to less than 30 points a game, they'll win every game. Just about. Now, obviously, the game of Notre Dame is a fluke because all the turnover. Not a fluke. I mean, Notre Dame brought the fight to them because people are going to say the same thing about OU Texas. They brought the fight to them, and they forced those turnovers.
Yeah.
But you can't rely on teams to turn the ball over 4 or 5 times every week and win, unless you're playing Miami, which I think is the perfect fucking segue into the University of Cristobal, fucking Miami University and the University of North Carolina. What'd you think about it, man?
I watched that game. It was on the quad box that I had because I really bet UCLA, and I had to find a channel that had LSU playing Auburn, UCLA playing Oregon, which I'm stupid for even betting that game. I had no tie. I didn't really watch UCLA all season, but there happened to be the North Carolina game on that quad box, and I wanted to watch it because Drake May is potentially like one of the first 2 quarterbacks taken. And the Chicago Bears kind of have a decision to make. Like, are they going to stay with Justin Fields or draft a quarterback?
They should just get both. They should just get Caleb Williams and Drake May.
Yeah. Well, actually, what I was thinking is maybe they can just trade both of those 2 first-round picks and then just acquire like 3 more first-round picks for next year. And they can just keep doing that until they just have a year where they
they have 1 through 32? It's just the Bears just have all 32 first-round picks.
They should do that. Let's do a simulator. Let's do a mock draft simulator, and then we'll see like what year that would be when they can finally just have 32 first-round picks.
Dude, fucking imagine. They're just going to cut 90. They're just going to cut the majority of their roster and then just take the number one player at each position.
Honestly, you could just draft a kicker number one overall because you got all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Quarterback whenever you want. You just fuck it. I'm gonna take a kicker.
Take a kicker and an Aussie punter.
just a slap in the face to fucking NFL drafting. A slap in the face to Roger Goodell. He deserves it.
That'd be so funny.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think Drake May did anything like crazy, but he was efficient. Also, fuck college football and fuck the NCAA for keeping Tez Walker from us.
He's so good, dude. Oh my fucking God.
He was crazy. Like, he might be an upgrade from Josh Downs.
Yeah.
That one game I saw, I was like, he was getting open. He's big, tough, physical. He's a football guy, you know? He's a
first round draft pick at receiver.
Yeah. There was a thing that I forgot what it was, but it was like with that Caleb Williams. I don't remember who it was from, but I think it was like a Bears fan on social media that was like, at this point, you take Drake May with like your first pick. Like, you should take Drake May. He's the more polished player. Here's my thing with that. I think I said this on the last podcast. Be careful, Ryan Poles, because Chicago once drafted a quarterback out of North Carolina that wore number 10. Didn't work out so well. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. History repeats itself. It's got a funny way of doing that.
But we would just ruin any quarterback anyway. It doesn't matter who. It could be Rodgers. We ruin him. It's not fair. We're cursed. I'm okay with it at this point because I've got national championships with Oklahoma to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I mean, North Carolina's good. They might be a top 10 team.
No, I think they are.
Their defense looks good. I don't even think Tyler Van Dyke was all that bad at quarterback for Miami. He just.
Well, see, here's the thing, and I've noticed this with Miami. I noticed it kind of last year. I said a bad season last year, but if you look at them, they are so turnover prone. Oh my God. I mean, the reason they lost that game to Georgia Tech, yes, the dumb play call, not kneeling it, but they allowed them to stay in that game. I think they turned it over 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And
but
so
even good, like, there was a lot of guys covered. There was a lot of guys not getting open. Tyler Van, like, create plays, and it's just hard to do every single time when you're not fucking Kyler Murray. You know? So,
can we talk about those UNC uniforms, though? The throwbacks with the
Can we talk about the student section? Because I didn't see very many, like, fans out there.
You said what?
I didn't see very many, like, their student section looked empty almost. I don't know if it was their student section or just, like, their regular fan section, but, like, there wasn't a lot of people there, which is crazy because, like, you know, I get it, they're a basketball school, but
hey, I don't know, man. They ain't been as good in basketball the last couple of years. They've been killing it in football, though. Mac Brown is
football program.
Yeah, just like Kentucky and Duke. They're now football program. And Kansas. Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, and UNC are all football programs now.
Football brings the revenue.
Like what they taught you. It does. It does. No, but I don't know what's going on. I didn't necessarily see that. Now, I was fairly busy, so I didn't get to actually sit down and watch a whole bunch of games. I kind of went back and looked through the highlights and kind of combed through things, so I didn't necessarily watch them in depth outside of USC and Notre Dame. But no, I think UNC is a top 10 team. You know what? Right now, I'd take UNC against Florida State.
Yeah, I would too. When they play in the ACC championship, I'm going to give the edge right now to North Carolina.
See, I'd give it to North Carolina. I think North Carolina is the best team in the ACC, but Duke's still there.
It depends if Johnny Williams is going to be healthy, because Keon Coleman's a beast. He's the best receiver on the team, but when you go up against a better defense, you can't do it by yourself. We watched that with the 49ers this past Sunday. So, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, North Carolina looks good. And
what's crazy is their defense hasn't even – I don't think their defense has seen a vast improvement from last season. But this is exactly what I'm talking about USC. North Carolina's defense doesn't have to be otherworldly. They just got to be good sometimes.
Yeah, they got Drake May.
They got Drake May. They got Tez Walker back. They got just a slew of fucking athletes on the offensive side. The most beautiful uniforms in college football. And they got Big Daddy Mac Brown, coaching the football team.
Yeah, Longhorns legend.
Sooner legend as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Mac.
Started in OU. Thank you, Mac Brown.
Yeah.
Thank you for making UNC great again.
Yeah. Thank you, Mac Brown. Thank you, Mike Leach. Rest in peace. We love you.
Thank you, Josh Heupel.
Yeah. Thank you, Brent Venables.
Thank you, Brent Venables. Thank you. All right. You want to move on and touch on some of the NFL games from the weekend?
Yeah, let's go over them. I actually
right.
went out and got plastered after USC lost. And I still woke up in the morning and I watched the London game. I'm kind of happy that we're done with international games. Like, it was fun at first, but now it's like
for me, it's nice to have something on in the background while I'm getting up and getting around at 8:30 in the morning on Saturdays or Sundays. But yeah, I'm kind of over them now. OU did get the British offensive lineman. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he's coming over here to play some football.
He's here to play football.
He's here to play football. Eat some fish and chips.
Yeah.
He's gonna learn what real fucking chips are. And he's gonna get some catfish in him, bro. He's gonna have a good fucking time once he gets to Norman. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, this catfish is splendid, isn't it?
Do you have tea and crumpets? We can't talk shit, man. We got a British guy he's gonna be on the team next year. We can't talk shit anymore. We gotta stop all the 17. They should make him wear 17 on scout team and then 76 once he starts playing.
Yes.
Or 74 July 4th.
If you were listening, Brent Venables, Bo Beatonball, make it happen.
Just make it wear 74 July 4th.
A bit weird, isn't it?
Quite sad, isn't it? He's gonna learn about American schools. Well, at least our schools.
When I wake up on a Tuesday and I go, "Oi, mate, I don't have a knife in my chest, didn't it?"
This is what happens when the NFL plays too many games in Britain. God damn it.
Seems like a good kid too. Like when I was listening to him on
no, he does.
Like on his recruiting stuff. I mean, just seems like a lad being a bloke.
Yeah.
A guy being a dude, lad being a bloke.
You think he drives a Mini Cooper?
No, I think he probably, drives
if he's British, he's gonna have a fucking McLaren once he gets over here and starts getting NIL money.
Mm-hmm. You think he gets NIL money?
Oh, 100%. They're gonna open him. He's gonna have his own tea company.
Yeah. Well, shout out to him, Daniel.
I cannot pronounce his last name, man.
Akinkumi.
Akinkumi?
Yeah.
Daniel Akinkumi.
Daniel Akinkumi, congratulations. Thank you for coming to Norman. We appreciate you. And we wish you success and good luck with the Schmitty workouts. Schmitty workout, sorry. So for the NFL games, the London game, I watched a little bit. I can't tell. So it was Baltimore 24, Tennessee 16.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Willis is not very good. I can't tell.
Now there's Ryan Tannehill. So,
well, they played Malik Willis too.
Yeah, I know.
I can't tell if the Ravens are like a great team. Like they have the talent and the roster and the head coach, but they're just not stomping people like they should.
Yeah, they're playing down to their competition. It's almost like Josh Allen.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Well, can't play on primetime. He's like the perfect. He was like what people
say
like
about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Well, he's better. Is he better than Kirk Cousins? Because I mean,
100%.
They struggle in primetime.
Just because you struggle in primetime in the playoffs doesn't mean you're not better than Kirk Cousins. Just means he's got the Green Bay versus the 49ers in the postseason. That's what his primetime games are.
Josh Allen's our guy. We love Josh Allen.
We love Josh Allen.
Like, I had
we love Jordan Poyer and Rachel Bush as well.
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I told you this in the beginning. I had the Ravens in the AFC Championship this year just based on their roster.
Yeah.
They have the potential to be a great team. I just need to see them, like, slit some necks. Just fucking stomp people.
Yeah, they don't keep their foot on the gas. They almost, like, ease up, you know?
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, it's the Riley effect, right? But no, I mean, they certainly should have beat them by a lot more than just 8 points. So, still pretty impressed with the Ravens. I mean, they seem to be an offense that can score kind of when they want to. They seem to be a defense that can get a stomp when they want to. But again, it's kind of like you're saying. I think that's roster construction, and then them just not wanting to just play 60 minutes sometimes. But funny enough, the Commanders and Falcons had the exact same score. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that one next. Do you have any thoughts? Did you watch the London game, the international?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had it on in the background. I was doing some cleaning and just kind of hanging around. So I really just had it on in the background. I'm looking at a little bit of it. I will say OBJ, obviously, he's had the ACL. He's been out of football for a while. Doesn't seem like, obviously, not the same guy he was before. Doesn't seem like that big of a playmaker, like a difference maker.
What did Joey Porter Jr. say? Go with your family, man. Go be with your family.
Oh man, no, not a whole lot to say on it. Although Kyle Hamilton almost murdered that kid from Tennessee. Did you see that?
He's suspended for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I know. They ejected him, but dude took a fucking shot, man.
Yeah, I thought with it being in London that like Derrick Henry would have a better game because if you learn anything in history, the last time they had a King Henry, some heads were being chopped off.
Heads were chopped off. They should have pulled a red card though on Kyle Hamilton. You know how funny that'd been? Instead of throwing a flag, they just.
Oh, dude, the fans were just like going crazy every time they'd kick a field goal too.
I know. It's so funny.
Just pull a fucking red card.
No, but I mean, Derek. I mean, he had the big run, but for the most part, like Baltimore's defense kind of just settled them down. But I don't know that Tennessee's got the best play calling. Like their situational football seems pretty bad to me.
Yeah,
I say that as a Packers fan. Looking at you, Matt LaFleur, but it's just they just don't seem to be the most efficient nor consistent football team right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. They had the potential, but we just haven't seen it yet. Next game. So the Commies, the Washington Commanders went into
Mercedes-Benz.
No, that's the Saints.
Oh.
They would go into Atlanta, and they win with the exact same score, 24-16. So 24 Commanders, 16 Falcons.
Yeah.
Want to know a crazy stat?
What's up?
All right, so blind stats. One team had almost 400 yards total offense, and the other team only had 182 yards total offense. Which team that was?
Well, the score would lean to say that the Commanders had 400 plus, or almost 400 yards of offense, and the Falcons didn't. But I know for a fact, because I'm going to throw this at you. I know, obviously, it was the Commanders, right? That's how we're setting this up. So I'm going to give you two numbers here, and you're going to tell me whether or not which one is Desmond Ridder and which one's Sam Howell. Okay, you ready? So I got a QBR of 37 and a quarterback rating of 119.7. Who do you think so?
119, you said, for one, and 37 for the other?
So QBR of 37 and then a rating, an overall quarterback rating, so two different metrics of 119.7.
Will that be Sam Howell?
The 119.7?
That would be Desmond Ridder, right?
They're both Sam Howell.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Well, like I looked, he only had like 150 yards.
Yeah, so he was 14 of 23, 151 yards. He was sacked 5 times, but he had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Yeah. Did you see? So Desmond Ridder had that really awful. He threw for like 300 and something yards.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have a terrible game, but he had a touchdown to Kyle Pitts and like really bad interceptions. Did you see the one where he threw that interception in the end zone and fucking Arthur Smith? His reaction is just.
Yeah, dude, so funny.
All-time reaction. I love
100%.
Arthur Smith so much. His reaction.
He's like Dan Campbell Jr. to me.
So funny, dude. Well, Dan Campbell's just stone faced. Like he's like the coolest coach on the planet.
And you could kick the game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl, and he'd be like,
I I mean, if it was a Super Bowl, I feel like he'd cry. I want to see Dan Campbell.
He'd be
win.
like, what's his name for the Eagles? Just one tier.
He'd be that Broncos running back that like just had the.
Oh no, Sean Moreno.
Yeah. But no, dude, that interaction cracks me up. All-time reaction. I love Arthur Smith. He's so funny. But it was a really bad interception. You know what that was? It was a battle of the mids.
It kind of was. Now, I do think Sam Howell has a lot more potential than Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
But that's just because Sam Howell's got that Baker in him, man.
Well, he was the number one like rated QB in that class before Malik Willis showed up. Like people were saying, like, yeah, he's the best quarterback in this class. Mm-hmm. And so, Washington fans are getting pissed at Ron Rivera. Like, I don't know what it is, but they're just getting tired of him. I think he's a good coach. I say that because he was a part of the 85 Bears Super Bowl and because he took the Panthers to a Super Bowl with Cam Newton as the MVP quarterback. So, I mean, but yeah, maybe it's just time for him to retire. Who knows? But yeah, those are crazy stats. 400 yards of offense and you still lose. And then the other team, if that isn't a clear indication that field position matters, like
100%.
Like field position matters. Like if you get the turnovers and you're across like your opponent's 40-yard line.
Well, look at this callback here. Look at the Notre Dame USC game. USC outgained Notre Dame. They had more first downs. They had more big plays. But Notre Dame had all those turnovers within their territory. I mean, fuck. One of them they started at the opposing 1 yard line and then just punched it out on the first play with Audric Estime.
Yeah.
So it's like, they don't have to.
No. Zachariah Branch is a beast. So I don't want
to
don't have playmakers. Brennan Rice and Zachariah Branch is electric. People were complaining about Dorian Singer. He had one bad game. He'd been good for the rest. So it was just one team was just outmatched the other. But yeah, field position matters. Washington 24, Atlanta 16.
Yep.
Next one that I have is Cincinnati 17, Seattle 13. I took the over. You were right. You took the under.
Yeah.
You said the defenses were going to show out. You said it probably won't be a slugfest. Well, it was. It was a defensive.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a badly performing offensive game, but no, it was two defenses just punching each other's offense in the mouth.
The Legion of Spoon, Devin Witherspoon. He locked up Jamar Chase. He locked up 7.
Hey, Trey Brown.
Yeah.
Trey Brown's been fucking amazing, right?
That was the best interception that he's had in his career, even better than the ones he had at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Stride for stride with him, back shoulder throw, interception.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, he's making strides. He's making progress.
Yeah. I think Seattle's got the best secondary by far in the NFL. Their depth is even their not practice squad. Their preseason secondary was like a starting secondary in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
And they were all backups. They're all in the practice squad and shit. Bro, it's ridiculous.
No, they're good. Devin Witherspoon, Trey Brown, Quandre Diggs, Tyleek Woolen.
Mm-hmm. No, they legitimately run 9 deep in their secondary.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot on this game. But definitely just a defensive slugfest really on both sides. Next game that we have here, these are just quick hits really on these games. Colts and Jags. This is Jonathan Taylor's first game back, I believe, correct?
Yeah, it was. And I was really sad about this game because Minshew Mania was finally over.
Yeah.
Minshew's my guy, but man, that was rough.
One thing I'll say about this, and I've kind of been feeling this way for quite a while. I don't think Trevor Lawrence has been that special yet.
He's gonna get there.
I think he will. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it would.
Well, Anton Harrison's still kind of working things out. He's gonna be a stud at left.
Yeah, Anton's gonna be a beast.
Just wait, Seattle. Not Seattle, Jacksonville. He's gonna get there. Josh Allen, who sacked Josh Allen when they played a while back. Josh Allen crime on Josh Allen. He had, I think, 2 big sacks on Gardner Minshew, and then a tackle loss. He had a good game.
How'd Devin Lloyd play, man? I'm going to forever watch Devin Lloyd because I loved him so much. And you can ask all my buddies before the 2020 Was it 2022 in Sequoia? Yeah. For the 2022 draft, how much I didn't shut up about Devin Lloyd. It's all I talked about for months was how much
Yeah.
I wanted Devin Lloyd to be a Packer. And then had pretty, like a somewhat not good rookie season. But he is one person that I'll be like 60. I'm like, I remember when I wanted Devin Lloyd on my fucking team.
He'll be good. He'll be good. It's like the Kobe
It's
Dean.
instinctual.
Dean didn't really
Yeah.
get the Eagles, but now he's been playing. It's like, God damn,
Mm-hmm.
he's.
He had a lot of injury issues though his first year. Devin Lloyd did. So, but no, I mean, wasn't really anything too crazy from this game. Seemed like a pretty standard NFL game, you know. Now I will say Jacksonville's receiving core is pretty underrated. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Calvin Ridley, Travis Etienne out of the backfield is pretty great. And I forget they have Dearness Johnson, who I think Dearness Johnson's a slept-on running back in the NFL. But I mean,
Zay Jones.
yeah, forget about Zay Jones. I feel like it's going to be this way for another year or two. But I feel like Jacksonville is just a sleeping beast, man.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna hit it one year and they're just gonna explode. And I mean, I think right now they're more talented than the team that made the AFC Championship game.
No.
I think simply because they have a better quarterback and better pieces. It's going to take them more time. I mean, Calvin really didn't play last year, so it's just going to take them more time to gel.
Are you thinking bowl for them soon?
3-4 years, as long as everything kind of stays on track. I think in the next 3-4 years they could make an appearance and or win it. Only issue is the cap thing is going to be an issue. They're 2 years out from having to pay Trevor Lawrence big baller money. So that rookie quarterback contract gives you a lot of room to work. Gives you a nice 5 to 7 year window to really, really get some shit done.
Yeah, I agree.
So
next game that I have is I've got the Dolphins and the Panthers. Dolphins 42, Panthers 21.
I really thought Carolina was going to cover in this one.
So that's the thing. Like I bet on that game because it was you and Brash. Y'all said that's a lot of points for the NFL, and I was like, I don't know. Miami is just clearly the better team.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to finally say that Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in the NFL. Like he may not have like the contested catch like Justin Jefferson or
like Devontae Adams route running and
he may not have Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen kind of route running, but he's the best at creating separation and like changes direction, speed. You can't catch the guy.
He's the most productive. That's the thing. Yeah. And bro, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you bring that up. For years, I've been like, you know what? It's gonna happen at some point. He's gonna fall off the wagon. I can't take him in fantasy football. You know who has single-handedly won me all my games in fantasy football this year? Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I've never been more proud. I don't have to do anything. I didn't even play a defense last week in one of my leagues. I was like, I don't want to sacrifice any of my guys. I got JSN, Geno Smith on the bench. I don't want to give anyone up. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to forego playing a defense. My brother played against me. Baltimore got him 13 points. I just set the Packers defense on because obviously they're on a bye week, and I still won by 20 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's time. First of all, he had the best celebration of that game where he took the camera and did that backflip. That was cool.
Yeah.
And Waddle had his Waddle. Two best celebrations in the game. Panthers actually got off to a 14-0 start.
I know, bro. I had so much hope for myself. I was like, yes! And then they fucking blew it.
Bryce Young didn't have a bad game. He didn't turn it over. He made big-time throws, even in...
It's going to take him time, man.
Yeah. He's a good quarterback. He'll get there.
For sure.
Maybe not with Carolina. Maybe he'll have like the Baker effect where he goes somewhere else and has success.
I think CJ Stroud gets there before him, but I still think Bryce Young will get there.
CJ's looked good.
CJ's looked amazing.
I did not expect that at all, but that's just culture and D'Amico Ryans being a good coach.
I think D'Amico Ryans is one of the most underrated hires in the last decade.
Yeah, no, look what the Texans are right now. But then they have all like Will Anderson, Derek Sting.
Yeah, they've got a slew of first-round draft picks and stars. I mean, their tackle, their offensive line has early round guys, and they got a first-round tackle. They got a first-round edge rusher. They got a first-round quarterback. They got, Tank Dell has been amazing, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to that game. But Miami blew the doors open after a 14-0 deficit. Mike McDaniel and his big brain said, hey, I've got fucking playmakers. I'm going to use them. I do appreciate that Mike White came into the game and his pass was a pick six. That was awesome.
That was.
That was awesome because it almost covered. It almost fucking covered. And then shit happens. But Raheem Mostert, I mean, even with the Devon A-Chain going out, Raheem Mostert's still a fucking awesome speedster.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, they got guys everywhere. Like, Miami's a really good football team. And I knew that they were much better. And I was like, I'm going to go with Miami minus 14. I think that's just the move. And then I've had three people tell me, no, that's too many points for the NFL. And look, the Panthers are struggling right now. I don't think Frank, head coach, great coordinator, but not a great head coach. Even with the rebuild, who knows what it's going to look like. But moving on, we have the Vikings coming to Soldier Field. They beat Chicago 19-13.
Yet another one I picked the under in, by the way.
Yeah, you did. And fucking Brasher told me to hammer the over. He said the over's going to hit. And I was like, no, it's not. It's going to be bad. You know what is surprising? They literally talked about all week how, like, Minnesota was going to bring the blitz. Like, that was, and they did, and there was no game plan for it. Here's where I'm at now. I knew this expect to win. I was like, we're probably going to lose, and it's going to be by at least 21. I was happy that it wasn't that bad. I'm happy that, like, our defense has stepped up in the past 2 weeks, allowing less than fucking 25 points, which is what they were averaging for the past 14 games. So that was, like, pretty cool. Like, the defense is gelling a little bit. You got a defensive fucking head coach. It should. The offense, Justin Fields, another bad day. Dislocated his thumb. Popped it back in.
Yeah, I heard he's going to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, Tyson Bagent season. So he didn't look bad. He threw the ball pretty well when he was in. He had that bad fumble. I mean, it happens. You're a fucking rookie. He played for like a D2 school. Like, it's the end of. After that, he was driving down the field. He threw a beautiful ball to DJ Moore, and then DJ got lit up. Here's what I'm at right now. So after Jim Harbaugh wins the national championship this season, if Oklahoma doesn't, we should hire Jim Harbaugh. He used to be a fucking Bears quarterback. Hire him, draft Drake May or Caleb Williams or whoever it's going to be. Send Justin Fields to Atlanta where he's got weapons that he can work with, or to the fucking Rams at this point. I mean, Sean McVay, if he stays, send him to like a good offensive-minded coach. Let him be able to like thrive, work on his mechanics, work on his velocity, his release.
Send him in Tennessee.
Maybe with Vrabel.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Tennessee better off with Will Levis, the mayonnaise and the coffee man that he is.
Yeah, Will Levis.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's cool.
That's just kind of where I'm at right now. Just bring in Jim Harbaugh after he wins a national championship. Let him get a reshot. Maybe the Bears and the Ravens can play in the Super Bowl, and he gets that rematch against his brother. That'd
be insane.
He wants to come back to the. Why would, if I'm playing in a Super Bowl against my brother, my younger brother, and I lose the Super Bowl, that's gonna linger over for me for the rest of my life.
Dude, every like Christmas, Thanksgiving dinner, you're like, hey, remember when I beat you in the Super Bowl? Big bro. Like,
that'd piss you. But he wants to win a national championship first. Like, he's going to want to do that first. There was, like, whatever with the administration, like, on his contract, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, they've worked things out. I hope they don't. I hope they didn't. I hope Jim Harbaugh's just like, no, you know what? Chicago needs me. They need a hero. They need a head coach. He comes to Chicago, and then the Bears are fucking back.
Fucking Bears.
Yeah, the fucking Bears. Yeah, I mean, not a spectacular game. I mean, if you watched it, it was
kind of ugly.
Yeah, very ugly on offense.
For sure. But, yeah, next game. Boy, I can't believe I got this one wrong. Who'd have thought PJ fucking Walker didn't even play good. I mean, he didn't look good, but that Browns defense is fucking insane, man.
I got a stat for you.
What's up?
Okay, so Cleveland won that game in Cleveland, 17. Yeah, Debo got hurt, and fucking Christian McCaffrey got hurt, and Trent Williams injured his ankle. The Browns had injuries too. Joel Bitonio was out. Deshaun Watson was out. Nick Chubb's season-ending injury. Yeah, guys hurt too.
Yeah.
I got an interesting stat for you. So Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Browns, Kyle Shanahan is 1-9 all time against Jim Schwartz.
It's insane. Sounds like the Packers against the Niners in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah. Just
ridiculous.
Yeah, I had San Francisco -5. Or sorry, -9.5.
Yeah, I had that too.
That was my can't lose pick. Like, that wasn't supposed to lose, and it did.
Yeah.
And you know what? Brock Purdy, he had a bad game. It happens. He's human. Good quarterbacks have bad games sometimes. I'm still going to defend Brock Purdy. He's a good quarterback. He just, what do you do when shit hits the fan, you know? And you're going up against also, there's another stat for you. You're going up against a good defense that has only given up 1,000 yards in 5 games.
That's absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's so insane to do at the NFL level.
I don't know. I think the last team to do that was probably like the 2017 Jags or 2018 Bears, maybe. I feel like those defenses were really good, but they were like more turnover and sack. Like they.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Browns just suffocate you, man.
Yeah. I still don't think that they'll probably get like first round of the playoffs, like wild card, and lose just because.
I don't even think they'll make it that far.
You don't think so?
I don't think they're a playoff team. I mean, their defense is insane. I think Cincinnati's better than them, and they're starting to kind of figure things out and get rolling, especially if Burrow and Chase keep playing the way that outside of this past week, outside of they have been. And then the Ravens. I think AFC North probably gets 2 teams in. I think it's Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Yeah.
So I just not that Cleveland's like awful. I mean, they're not good on offense. So good job wasting $230 million fucking dollars on massage oil. I just don't think that they're necessarily a playoff team. So.
Well, they beat the 49ers who were unbeaten, and that was
pretty impressive. Both unbeatens went down this weekend. I mean, we'll get to the Philly game, but
yeah,
crazy.
So, congratulations, Miami Dolphins, for being the only team to still have an undefeated season and win a Super Bowl. So, congratulations.
Miami's lost.
Well, in 1972, when they had the Super Bowl.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, congratulations, Miami.
Thank you, the Giants. Thank you to the Giants for not allowing the Patriots to do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Was it David Tyree? Was that his catch that year?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. The helmet catch.
Eli made a legacy game.
Yes. Bro, I still remember that play like it was yesterday. Him just getting swarmed in the pocket and then somehow stepping out of that.
Yeah.
Insane. Can't believe it. No, let's move on to the next game, though. Saints and Texans. I mean, we kind of hit on it a little bit. CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Tank Dell, Landry Tunsil. Do they still have Landry Tunsil? I think they do. I mean, they just look fantastic, man. Not fantastic. That's a stretch. Derek Stingley. They look like they have a lot of early first round talent, and they do. But that's the thing when those types of players start to gel and start to figure shit out and start to figure each other out and start to really start playing well. And you got a good, essentially, and if he was in college, he'd be a program guy. And D'Amico Ryans, you got a good team-oriented guy, man.
Yeah.
I think the Texans are pretty close to being probably the king of the AFC South.
Yeah. At some point, they will. Maybe like in a couple of years, everything gels together, right? I love Nico Collins because he just sounds like the fucking mafia boss at like the strip club, where he sounds like you'd see him on like the Scarface, like you just like Collins, like he's the big guy in charge. Like I just love the name.
Yeah.
And fucking good wide receiver too. He's like the go-to. It's like back and forth between fucking Tank Dell, awesome football name, Nico Collins, just awesome name in general.
And Tank Dell's a Houston guy too.
Yeah, he is a Houston guy.
Didn't even have to leave home.
Loves Paul Wall. Paul Wall and fucking Slim Thug. He's got to.
Nah, but Texans, man, I can't wait for them to break out the red helmets though. Oh, they're so clean. The all red's so nasty. It's so insane.
Badass.
It's a good look. I wish they'd go with like a white helmet though. I feel like they'd look pretty fire with a white helmet.
Yeah.
Just go crazy. Do some Oregon shit.
I think we had like a good football name matchup. Rashid Shaheed and then Nico Collins.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It sucks because Red Zone didn't really get to tune into that.
Now, here's the thing. Rashid Shaheed needs to go up against Rashid Rice.
Yeah.
That'd be insane, dude.
Who would win the matchup?
Oof. Probably Rashid Rice.
Not Rashid Shaheed?
No, Rashid Rice.
Do you think Rashid's better than Rashid?
I think Rashid is just a tad bit better than Rashid.
Okay. I agree with you.
Yeah. I think so.
I didn't watch that game too much, but Houston, they got 20-13 against New Orleans. Derek Carr did have that badass touchdown pass to Rashid Shaheed, but it's much.
It's kind of Derek Carr MO, though, being the king of mid, right? Not that Derek Carr is necessarily mid, but all the teams he plays for kind of just end up being like middle of the road.
You know, he's getting older. He's kind of at that point where it's like he kind of knows like his place now.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
He won a Super Bowl because that Raiders team was good. Khalil Mack was going off. Like everybody was good, but then he broke his fucking leg, and that was like his one chance, in my opinion. That was the only time Jack Del Rio was a good head coach.
Was he though?
They were 12-4.
Hey, they did. They did have a good season that year. They did have a pretty good season that year. So
Connor Cook had to fucking take over. Michigan State legend. We got him. But anyway, yeah, I mean, just another game where the better team won. Better head coach. What's next? The afternoon slate?
Yeah, afternoon slate. Patriots and Raiders. Next one that shows up on here for me. Raiders 21, Pats 17. I just want to throw this out there. We kind of talked about it on Sunday. I threw a Prize Picks parlay out there. I need a Max Crosby to have at least one sack. And they took his other half sack away and gave him a TFL on a fucking – it was a fucking passing play, but it was out of the Wildcat. It was so bullshit. Not that it would have mattered anyways. I had a combo of Ramondre Stevenson and Josh Jacobs having more than 123.5 yards. Finished the game with a combined 123 yards.
It's rough, man.
Needed a Chris Godwin or Mike Evans touchdown. Needed Baker to hit the over on yard. It was just a bad bet for me, man. Just a bad bet. Let me go back. I need a time machine so I can go back and correct all my shitty bets.
Dude, that stuff happens. And Ramondre, that was a scary. So like when he took that hit,
no, for sure.
He got up and he looked like he was confused. It's like, fuck, that's probably a concussion.
Yeah.
But he was out for like a little bit of the game. Jimmy Garoppolo, he hurt his back. Pretty ugly game.
Yeah. No, it wasn't pretty at all.
Mac Jones showed like a couple of flashes, and then he just had some bad plays.
That's kind of been his whole career, though, right? So far in the NFL, I mean, he's had flashes, and then he's been bad, and then
his second season wasn't that bad, but now it's just like I don't know what's going on. I think he like wants to leave New Orleans, or not New Orleans, fucking New England. Yeah, I think he wants to go away. I don't know like what is gonna happen because it doesn't look like Bill Belichick wants to be there anymore. Interesting enough, his family in Tennessee, in Nashville, he goes to visit there. It's like his vacation spot.
Do
you see like a trade happening between coaches?
Imagine Vrabel for Belichick.
Yeah,
it'd be hilarious. Send Vrabel and Tannehill for Belichick and Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah,
have Ramondre Stevenson and King Henry back there.
That'd be a crazy backfield. Holy shit!
It'd be like Mixon, P. Ryan in college-esque, you know?
Yeah, no.
You got the big do-it-all guy, then you just got a fucking ram-bam Ramondre. I miss Toby Rowland. On bye weeks, that's where I really miss Toby Rowland, man.
Yeah, I know.
This is the best play-by-play guy. Best radio guy.
We should probably talk about that Chiefs game since we didn't really get to cover it, but that was just another shitty game. Obviously, yeah. Drew Brees made fucking Sean Payton who he is. Russell Wilson is not very good. Patrick Mahomes, he's nothing without Travis Kelce, it seems like.
Dude, it's weird.
He's the best quarterback I've ever seen. I have seen play in the NFL. He's like what Caleb Williams does in college, or like what Kyler Murray was doing in college. Plays and just being crazy. But all of his passes, it seemed like were to Travis Kelce, which his receiver core isn't great. But now you've got questions like, is Matt Nagy to blame since he's the offensive coordinator? Or, I don't know. I think Andy Reid's he's letting Matt Nagy have some of the control.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, because he's kind of talking about it, I think he's letting Mahomes and them having too much control. Maybe. I think Andy just needs to.
What's going to happen is
he needs to put the burger down and just start calling plays again.
Well, no, I like him having the Denny's menu for his play call.
That is fire. I do like that as well.
I like it. Or like having like a Mexican like restaurant menu where it's like
Yeah.
gonna run tripas and tripa fucking like a triple option or like a trip set coverage, like double
He's
slap.
like burrito. And it's like a 3x1 set.
Oh god. They're gonna like figure it out. They're gonna get to the Super Bowl again.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, the NFL scriptwriters can try to tease us all they want, but it's just going to end up with Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They're going to play some surprise NFC team that no one saw coming until late in the season, and then Chiefs are going to win the fucking Super Bowl. So
you heard it here first.
Oh yeah,
do admit that they're scriptwriters.
They are, dude, 100%. That's why the Bears always suck, and Jordan Love's going to end up working out because the Packers just always have a good quarterback but can never win a Super Bowl, right? So what's going to happen is Jordan Love in year 3 is going to win a Super Bowl, and then he's just going to get close and close and close but never win one again.
You'd be happy to win a Super Bowl, though. Wouldn't you? At least one?
If I have 3 back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks over the span of 40 years and we get 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah. No?
No. We have 2. I want 6. Aaron should have won at least 3.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
You got 1 in your lifetime. Me too, I guess.
My lifetime. In my lifetime, they went to the Super Bowl, fucking lost.
They lost to the Colts, huh?
Yeah.
I got 1 more than you.
How do you start the game with a fucking electric Devin Hester kick return for touchdown? Favorite player in NFL history, by the way. I love that guy. I did a whole presentation of him in junior high and fucking high school. But then you lose the game. That's life, man. I'm never gonna win. They're not gonna win a Super Bowl. I've accepted that, but Oklahoma's gonna win a couple of national championships with Brent, so I'm okay with that.
I hope they fucking better, man. But let's move on to, speaking of Oklahoma, let's move on to another game here. They're beautiful, but how bad did it hurt to see Baker wearing orange?
It was a creamsicle orange. So it was like one of those like creams. It wasn't like a burnt orange or like a Tennessee orange. It was like a nice like creamsicle pop that you would eat.
Yeah, but still, man, him in orange, dude.
Yeah,
especially when he doesn't play well.
I didn't think about that, to be honest. That orange, like it didn't process.
Yeah, they got the red in there. It's okay. Those uniforms are sick though.
So the Lions are really good at football. You know what? This week was weird. Quarterbacks sucked this week.
Yeah, they really did. Like all across the league. I don't think there's a quarterback that had a really strong game.
Well, Tua and Jared Goff had good games. Yeah. Good plays. It's like Jameson Williams, the bomb. We told you Jameson Williams was coming. He came. He came everywhere.
He did. He came everywhere.
On that one play. But it was like a nice comeback.
It was a nice comeback.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions defense is just suffocating. Aiden Hutchinson, Anzalone, like all those guys that are up there on the front, they just, it's tough for Tampa Bay. They're still a good team. I mean, they only let the Lions score 20 points.
Their defense, I think their defense is a piece or two away from being truly legit. Not legit, but truly like championship level again. I wish Gerald McCoy could have been on that Super Bowl team though. But that's neither here nor there. But no, I think, hey, like I said, look, I've been saying it since the season ended last year, and I'm going to bring it up every time the Lions are talked about. I have been higher on the Lions the last 2 years than anyone else has ever been on them, and I'm a fucking Packers fan. I knew the Lions were going to be great, man. And you know what? We might see the Lions in the Super Bowl. I think they got the potential to be in the Super Bowl.
I liked what Dan Lanning did. Like after the win, he was like, "Wait, guys, I've got something," and he pulled out like a $5 bill, and he was showing it, and then he was like, "Wait, I got something else, another 5, because they're 5-1. They got 5 wins, man. Like
good.
Like I mean, 20-6 isn't like a huge score, but like if you look at that
in the NFL, you just got to win. Doesn't matter. You just win football games. It's not college.
They went on the road. And they played really well against the Chiefs. Like, they played against a good offense. They made Mahomes struggle.
Mm-hmm.
A different story with Seattle. I mean, I don't know how that happened, but it did. But they've made good quarterbacks struggle. Baker's been playing good this season. They made him struggle. The Chiefs, they struggled.
Shut Jordan Love down.
Yeah. I mean, like, Lions are good.
Like, their front seven is nasty, man.
Their secondary is good, too.
Their secondary is pretty good. Their defense, just in a whole.
I thought was going to be a top corner in Jeff Okuda, and their secondary got better. And Jeff Okuda, number 3 pick, fantastic at Ohio State. So that's just crazy to me. But that is like a team that is bought in on Dan.
100%. And Brian Branch continues to be the steal of the draft.
Yeah.
To get him in the second round is fucking ridiculous.
Lions fans should thank the Jags for not taking Aiden Hutchinson number 1.
Yeah.
They should really thank him because he's a game wrecker.
He is, man.
The Lions look good. They've got a great offense. They got good pieces. Their offensive line, they're good in the trenches, and they have a great head coach who's a motivator.
Yeah.
So Lions.
Hey, Dan Campbell could come down here and tell me to eat my apartment complex, and I'd get a knife out immediately, bro. He could motivate me to do anything.
Yeah.
Anything. He's so good.
Who do you think? So rate your top NFC teams right now, like your top 5 NFC teams.
Packers. No, I'm just kidding. Top 5 NFC teams. I'm probably going to say Lions, the Niners, the Eagles.
Cowboys?
It's the same old Cowboys, man. They're the same old Cowboys. Are
they right now? What's the score?
Oh, yeah, they won 20-17.
Okay.
They're 4-2 now.
Almost midnight, damn.
Yeah. Let's see. You know, I might throw the Bucks in there.
Because they're the top team in the South?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe Dallas. Or yeah, I just don't see anyone else. Yeah, no, for sure. I think the Lions, the Niners, the Eagles, the Bucks, and the Cowboys are probably my top 5 teams in the NFC right now.
That was my top 5 NFC teams. So Lions second.
You have Lions second?
I think it's the Eagles are going to figure it out. Like, they just have too good of a, like, we'll see. So, like, in a couple of weeks, we'll gauge it because traditionally, you know, like the Lions the past 2 seasons, they would go off, they'd start like 0-6. It would just be a disaster. And as it got colder and the NFL got harder, they would get better because they've got the right team, the right personnel, and the right coach for it.
Yeah.
5-1. And it's going to get harder. It's going to be a lot harder for teams like Tampa Bay and Jacksonville and Miami that are enjoying the weather. Like having to go and play in fucking Buffalo or Chicago or Philadelphia or something like that. That's where those teams thrive because they get to play in that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the Lions might jump. I think the Lions could make the NFC Championship. Even though
I certainly think they could. I mean, the way they're playing right now, I think they can make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's crazy. We never thought we'd think this. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Jared got the Rams and the Lions both won that trade. That's the most trade in the history of trades. Name a trade that was as good as that one.
Can't think of one.
Yeah, not even the what trades have there been like in history? There's like the slave trade, but that wasn't great. That sucked.
That was awful. That was very bad.
Sorry.
That was a very bad thing. Not what you said. The slave trade was very bad.
It was. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was awful. Like,
it was not a good one at all. That was maybe the worst trade.
Yeah, that was a very even trade, though. Like, Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl, and now that it looks like the Lions are going to win a couple of Super Bowls if they keep playing the way they're playing.
It's crazy.
Hiding them. Do you think people are going to hate the Lions if they, like, become good? Like,
see, it depends on how much of a dynasty they build, right? Because I think everyone's going to be like, "Aw, the Lions, they think they can do it." And they're going to start to do it and be like, "Fuck, the Lions are doing it." You don't want Detroit fans. You think Philly fans are bad when they're winning? I guarantee you Detroit fans are probably worse.
They've got the athletes for it.
They do.
They've got Jameson Williams is a beast. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god, he's a fucking beast. David Montgomery's a fucking beast.
Jameer Gibbs is insane.
It's amazing. Brian Branch is.
Here's what I thought about them is I thought, Jared Goff, good quarterback. I thought he was going to be a bridge guy. They were just going to try to build some young guys around him while they were paying him all that money on the rest of that contract and go get themselves a rookie quarterback. I think Jared Goff could legitimately, if he's playing like this, finish his career as a Lion and be pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Jared Goff the Rams drafted.
Yeah.
Who they thought they drafted, I should say.
No, they look like they're going to be an awesome team. Tampa Bay, they'll still be good. I mean, they'll probably be like 10-6, and they'll make the playoffs. I think they're the best team in their division. The Lions are clearly the best team in their division, but it'll be interesting to see. But anyway, let's go to the next game. So we had the Jets and the Eagles at MetLife Stadium. To the Meadowlands, where the score was 20-14. Who won that game?
Jets, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to take this away from them. The Jets won that football game. I was gonna say the Eagles lost it, which is kind of true. But I think the Jets legitimately actually just went and took that game from them.
Here's where Cowboys fans come into play, because all I saw on Twitter was, when are we going to start saying the same thing about Jalen Hurts as everybody says about Dak?
Yeah.
Quarterbacks have bad fucking games. Dak's a good quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. It happens. Jets defense is good. They've made Mahomes struggle. They made fucking Josh Allen struggle. They're good defenses. Robert Saleh, defensive-minded coach. It's the Jets, all right? They've had to deal with enough shit with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, who might come back.
He's like walking around warming up, like fucking ridiculous, man. I need some ayahuasca.
Yeah, whatever he's on, stem cells, the stem cell research. Can we get that for Andrew Anthony?
Honestly, please.
Andrew Anthony, and then whoever else has been hurt. But
everybody.
No, the Jets. That was a fantastic win for them. I'm happy, man. I'm happy for Zach Wilson. He's gotten a lot of shit.
He has. Milf Wilson has gotten a lot of shit, but
yeah,
he's balling.
Donna Kelsey, be warned. I mean, just look out.
Facts. No quick hitter there. I mean, I think the Jets literally just took the fight to the Eagles. They beat the Eagles at their own game. They were just a physical, more dominant football team. So, moving on here, man. This one's
one last thing. I'm surprised he didn't get a touchdown. That was like a thing that was like, the state of Texas and the state of Oklahoma, there's one thing you need to do. You need to allow individual betting in sports where we can bet on like an outcome for like a player stat, like first touchdown, anytime touchdown, defense first time touchdown, something like that. I'm fucking sick. It pisses me off that I can't go and bet on player stats or like
so fucking annoying.
Prize picks. I'm talking like you get to pick like first touchdown score or like anytime touchdown for a player.
Yeah.
We love football. We love gambling. This is what we want.
You don't have to do it for other sports. Just do it for football. That's all I want.
Yeah. But that was like a thing for me. I was like, you know what? I think Garrett Wilson's going to get a touchdown today. Like a touchdown pass from Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I think, Darius Slay and fucking Bradbury are like the best corner duo in the league. But I just figured like there was going to be some sort of breakdown in protection and Garrett Wilson was going to get a touchdown. And he didn't.
Yeah.
So, but
and maybe the state of Texas saved you some money there.
But listen, you're going to lose some. You're going to lose
them all.
It's just.
I'm the opposite of Pokemon. Instead of catching them all, I just lose them all. It's like the socks in the dryer.
Of waking up and just being like, what if I just fuck around and win it all? That's why we love gambling. And Texas and Oklahoma need to bring that.
Facts. Bullshit. That's the soapbox for the day. Last one I think we should hit on. I mean, we could talk about Dallas or LA, but we really didn't watch that game, so I figure we'll kind of end it here. Fucking shocker. The Bills beat the Giants 14-9, and arguably had a blown PI call there at the end and
Yeah.
didn't have it get called. So now, I mean, they had the one that set them up there on the 1 yard line. Really had another one on the defense of Darren Waller, but just a crazy game. I mean, obviously Tyrod Taylor out there didn't really play that well. Almost did just enough to win in the football game. But I think this is more so about the Bills and their consistency of playing down to their competition than it is about the Giants being well.
Well, that's where my question came in. Like, is Josh Allen like? Should we just stop scheduling? Should they stop scheduling the Bills in prime time because like they just prime time?
Yeah.
But they have this season anyways. It's
Yeah.
like
No, this year
blew out the Rams or something like that. And then like it's almost like Josh Allen like in prime time turns into Kirk Cousins, and then when he's playing a 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock game, he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. Oh.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. That's why they always shit the bed in the playoffs.
Yeah. I got some thinking to do. Brian Daboll.
You said what?
Brian Daboll's a coach. He's a good coach. And it was like a Tyrod Taylor revenge game, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe that kind of played into effect. But you're right. Like possibly like a controversial blown PI call. I mean, whatever. Like the Bills were the better team. They were probably going to win that game regardless. Giants had that moment where they could have scored. But either way, it was a pretty ugly game.
No,
so
it definitely was. I mean, I love how the spread was Buffalo minus 15. They didn't even score 15 points.
Yeah, no.
Just ridiculous.
We were wrong because we had Buffalo like covering that.
I did. That's the one I really had. That's the big spread. I really had Buffalo covering that game. I should have took Miami to cover and Buffalo not to. Crazy how that works out.
How about the two backup quarterbacks, PJ Walker and Tyrod Taylor, having good days today?
Yeah.
You're a much better team, not stomp all over you. One got the win, and then the other only lost by.
And I guess you can technically say Zach Wilson's a backup quarterback, right?
Yeah. He had a good day. I mean, it wasn't good enough to get you the win.
That's all they need. That with that Jets defense, that's all they need. They need a quarterback just good enough to get them to win. And if Aaron's back and healthy, they got that times 10. So,
yeah.
Good
day of football. It was a weird day. Like the NFL quarterback play was just bad.
It's one of those weekends where everything just kind of fell backwards.
Bad day for the overs, man. It was rough.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I picked the unders in the games I did. Most of them hit.
College football was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun watching.
I think it was a great weekend overall for football. I really do. I mean, every weekend's a great weekend for football, but this was a really, it's really fun weekend.
Listen, even a bad week of football is way better than a week of no football. Like I'm never
I'd take a bad week of football over like a random Saturday in May.
Yeah. Unless it's like on my birthday.
Unless the Cubs win.
Yeah. Yeah, Cubs they're coming.
Cade and the boys are coming, man.
They'll be there. But we got a lot of football to talk when we record again. Do you want to touch up on like the expectations against UCF, like how, like anything like that, like because OU's got that game coming
in the next one?
Yeah, or like this one.
I mean, we can. I haven't gotten a chance to watch enough of UCF. I mean, I've watched a little bit of them. They don't look anything too spectacular. Gus Malzahn and the boys aren't necessarily world beaters. Their quarterback's not too good. I think their defense is very, very vulnerable. So this should be a game that OU comes out and not necessarily a get-right game, but this is a game that OU should prove and should just be able to build another solid game on defense and another good game on offense. And
it's a take care of business game. That's what
it is. That's exactly what it is. That's the best way to put it. It's just you strap up, you beat the shit out of them, you go home and get ready to do it again next week.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how everything plays out. Andrew Anthony being out for the season sucks. Cade Matoyer is going to miss a couple of weeks.
So. I think we get big time production from Jacquez Petaway.
Yeah.
I think he's going to step up.
I mean, you got plenty of receivers, so
we do.
Jalil Farooq have to be the number one guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, with that being said, I think it's a pretty solid episode. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I think we're good, man.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Whoever made it this far. Join us next week, or not next week. Join us later this week. We're probably going to plan to record here in a couple of days and get our our college football week 8 preview out there. Probably going to focus obviously on the Oklahoma UCF game. Ohio State, Penn State's another big one this weekend. And then we're probably just going to talk some more NFL ball, and maybe we'll touch on the MLB playoffs and just kind of see where things shake here in a couple of days. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say. Again, like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you like, tell us what you hated, and tell us what you think about us and if we're stupid or not, which we both pretty much are pretty sure that we are. But
forgive me for what I said earlier. That was just supposed to be a joke. We're supposed to be a podcast, so one day we will get canceled. But you gotta love us, just
you gotta love us while you got us, man.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, tune in next week. It's gonna be a good episode. Like
it is. All right. Well, we'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching.
Later.
Peace.